go to Dean Russell, MP, for the next set of questions? Dean.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Minister, for joining us. I have some questions specifically around numbers and statistics with regards to mothers and children impacted during this COVID crisis. So I'm going to go through those one by one, if that's okay. Hopefully yourself or perhaps Joe will know the answers to these. So the first one is, how many children under 18 are separated from their mother by their mother's imprisonment?
I think your committee has picked up before that that's a difficult question to answer, and there are various statistics over the number of years. You will know that that is a question that should be answered at a pre-sentence report stage, but it's collected. I don't have a figure for it because it's collected locally rather than nationally, but it is something that we can look at. And consider how we might be able to collate it. I don't know whether Joe wants to say anything in addition in relation to that.
Thank you, Minister. Yes, unfortunately, we don't have the data. As the Minister said, it's collected locally, particularly when we're doing offender management with individual people in prison. But following this committee's interest in this, we are looking with our data analysts as to whether we can collate this information so that we have that and other statistics readily to hand and to share.
So I was keen to, there's a few more questions, so hopefully you'll have some data on those, but I wanted to know for that first question, how many of those mothers are in for non-violent offences, but of course, without knowing the overall, it's going to be hard. The second question I had in terms of statistics is, how many women prisoners gave birth last year in prison?
So we have management information for that, but not published. So with the usual caveats, and we can look at how we can publish that. We believe it's about 70.
Okay, thank you. And would it be feasible? And would it be feasible to perhaps at a later date know how many women prisoners gave birth during the COVID crisis as well, and what the impact was of that?
We can certainly look at that.
Thank you. And sorry, there's a few of these. So next question is, how many women with babies are currently in mother and baby units in prison? And of those, how many are in prison for non-violent offences?
We currently have 13 women in mother and baby units, and 4 of those have committed non-violent offences.
Thank you. And finally, how many women prisoners who've just given birth are currently awaiting transfer to a mother and baby unit so they can be reunited with their baby? And of those, how many are in for non-violent offences?
We don't believe that there are any who are waiting.
Okay. Thank you. So, well, thank you for sharing the numbers that you did have. If it's possible, it'd be keen to understand the first stats, and I think it's important for us to be able to know those numbers, if that's okay.
I should say, I mean, we think that stats and data, and I know there's been some criticisms in the past about the lack of data on this very important area. And we were in the process before COVID hit of putting together a review of mother and baby units and thinking about what sort of data we should be collecting. That work, unfortunately, stopped, as did some of our other ongoing work in the Ministry of Justice, but it is something that we'll be picking up again very, very soon.
And thank you. And just on that first point about the children under 18, I just think it's really important to be able to understand how they're being supported as well during this time and more generally. So with when that data is available, hopefully soon, is it possible to sort of widen that report out and understand how each of those individual children, as we heard at the start, the impact on children is dramatic, and it's not their fault that their parent has committed a crime and put themselves in prison. So understanding what's followed up on that, but also I imagine on the mental health and support for those children as they get older as well, without having a parent or in particular a mother in their lives.
That is definitely something to look at. There's probably won't be in this report, which is about mother and baby units and the mothers and the babies and the data in relation. How do we look after the mothers and babies on the unit? But what you asked, Dean, is of course very important.